Yeah, hello. Thanks so much, Roche. Can you hear me?
That's fine. Yeah, I can hear you. Hi.
Yeah, let me just make you co-host so that you could try your screen and see. Yeah, medicals. Let's try and see what I can share your screen. Let's go.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's get like right there. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Get this clip of that work. Does it work?
Yeah, but Afolabi, how are you, sir?
I agree to you, Prof.
Yeah, I want to see you. I will made you co-host. Okay.
Well done, Prof.
Yeah, how are you?
Okay. I'm good.
I see a good. How does it feel? How does it feel? I've been a prof.
It's yeah. I'm actually in your home country right now, Prof.
The devil is a liar. God is good. And you know, come and welcome my airport now. That's not me.
No, I'm in your other country now.
Okay. Which one of them?
I'm in Germany right now.
Okay, all is good. Herzlich willkommen nach Deutschland.
Oh, okay. I have no idea what you're saying.
I think we glad welcome or happy welcome to Germany. Herzlich willkommen nach Deutschland.
Oh, wow.
You speak the language.
I have to. It's compulsory when I go there. The first 2 months, you have to take a German course.
Oh, wow.
Otherwise, there's something different between you and the food because most of them communicate with German in the streets.
That's wow.
But one that was in a train, I won't forget that day. And they announced that if you come down and change, I was just looking. Somebody said, please come, let's go. And they did like we are about to learn it.
Wow.
Like, very embarrassing. Yes.
Wow.
Which part of that one?
I'm in Cologne.
Okay, cool. Okay, close to Bonn. We live in Bonn.
Yes,
But,
close to Bonn, yes.
yeah, but
Because
of
you were
course,
in Bonn, right?
yeah, we live in Bonn for we live longer in Bonn than in the US. We lived in Bonn, we lived in Hamburg, we lived in Witten.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But longest was in Witten. In fact, our last born was born in Bonn.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so you say last born in Bonn. Yeah.
Born in Bonn.
Last born in Bonn.
That's
Okay.
Bonn.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah. Richard, did you manage to share your screen?
I think
Yeah,
I saw
1 second. I think I was sharing my screen for a bit, but I wasn't sure what you were saying. So
Okay, no. I was talking with our co-host, was Afolabi.
nice.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Just share up in there.
Okay, just to be sure. Yeah.
And Doc, Prof, I'm not sharing any screen. I think I'm just gonna speak.
Okay, it's okay. I know you're an artist, so you can act. We'll just watch you watch your performance. It's okay. This is experiential. Basically, because
That's right.
for one thing, when I went to the list, I saw you're the only black guy out of the 10. For me, that was quite another milestone, not only for you, but for African diaspora. That's like my mentor would say, it doesn't have to be white to be right. So
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we
yes,
can see it.
great. That's great. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Put it on slideshow. Presentations, trying. What are you seeing? Are you seeing like the slideshow or the presenter view?
Yeah, but it looks
Both of them.
smaller than before. Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah, we're seeing both the slideshow and
Yeah, seeing both. Okay.
yeah, all of them, both the horizontal, the vertical.
Give me 1 second. I would stop
Okay.
share. Okay, I think this is not a great way to do it. So I think I should just stop sharing.
Yeah, yellow is kind of not really nice nature.
So, Uche, if I may, is that okay?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So you want to click on the downside. So if you come down, no, if you open your,
Mhm.
just share again. I think I might send, I think I might have a sense of what you're trying to do. So if you do it again,
Yeah.
Wait. I'm trying to share my screen and not just the slide.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'll do it again.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I share the correct thing. Like I have 1 billion and one things open that I really do not want to put off, but I think I would just close everything. Give me a second. So we get on Zoom. I share
No, I'll test.
share desktop,
No,
share
for you to change around.
and slideshow. Play from the start. Okay, what can you see here? Sure, you can do that.
we're seeing both of them again. So I think what you want to do, if you end your show,
Allow. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, just go ahead and say what you want
so
to
so
say.
if you end the show, I was going to show you what, so that way we can see only the screen. So end the show.
Okay.
Your show is on the, yeah,
Oh.
and then come down to, so this same screen, just come down to like that 85% down, down.
Wait, to like increase it to
Yeah, so
100.
keep coming. No, don't increase it. No, don't touch that one. The
Mhm.
icon, the next icon.
This one?
Yeah, if you click on that, if you click on that,
Green. That
uh,
is
no,
different.
still seeing that.
Let's explain white now.
You shouldn't be seeing both
You
screens.
shouldn't be
That's
seeing both. Something is wrong.
weird. You should only be seeing one.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Give me 1 second. I think I know what to do. Because I'm on the reason why you're probably seeing both. I need to disconnect my other screen.
Got you. Okay.
I'm on a double screen.
Okay.
Which is fine. So I'll do it again.
Okay.
I share entire screen. What are you saying now? Can you tell me what you're saying?
Both of them.
That is weird. Access the microphone. Don't know. Okay. Let me stop sharing.
Back.
Sure. I hit Mac.
Display settings.
No, I think it's just the way Apple. Okay. Escape.
No.
Okay. Uche, see you there. Did you manage? Otherwise, I can try and share from our side. Okay, everyone, please, you're welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. We are already going to start, so welcome on board.
Which, if this is helpful, we can see what you want us to see. I think just the title. We're not seeing the presenter view, if that's helpful.
Can you see the presenter view now?
No.
No, we can so we can only see one thing, which is networking is dead. It's time to grow up. We're not
Okay,
seeing
that's great.
that presenter view. Yeah. So I think that's what I was trying
That's
to say.
great. That's exactly what I wanted you to see. So let me now just try that. It actually.
Yeah, I think this is perfect. If you can move the screen, yeah, this is.
Yeah, so let me see that I can move the screen. This is so cute. Okay, wait.
Arrow.
It's just perfect. Yeah, it's moving. Sorry.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah, we got
great.
it.
This is
Okay. Right. Thanks so much. Okay, I think we just wait so 1 more minute and then we'll quick start. Thanks everyone for joining us. To go. Okay. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Right. Okay. Participant, can we hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Prof.
Okay, thanks so much. I can also use the chat so that we know we are together. Also use the chat. Okay, it's been the day, and it's not time for so much talk, but action. All right. I think we start right away. We don't usually wait. We try to balance the technical stuff. Okay, so you can stop sharing and why I just did the welcome and then we'll continue. Right, thanks so much. Thanks everyone for joining us. You are most welcome to joining us. I will share my screen as we start. Right. We also live on YouTube, so you can also invite your friends and others to join us while we start. Right. So I'm going to show my screen right away. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen here.
Great. All right. Thanks so much. We are good to start right away with the language. And I remain your host, Evans Osabo is my name, Professor of Economics at the Covenant University in Nigeria, and the privileged founding chair of DIaDeRC, the Pecos Institutions and Ulema Research Center in Nigeria. This event has started a long time ago, since on the 11th of May. We are now at the grand finale. So we run episode 1, 2, 3, 4. Today is the 5th one, the final one. And thankfully, have my co-host here. This is very interesting because we started the journey he was a doctor who started the journey, and 5 weeks ago, and we're ending the journey is a professor. So he'll be sharing us giving us some insight on that, let's say migration or metamorphosis or transformation, whatever we want to call it. For me, that's one of the greatest things for this testimony on this event. So I want to say welcome us and again, I'd like to appreciate God for the privilege and the grace of this our vision, like at them are DIaDeRC team members, that everyone in DIaDeRC is a minister because we are honing knowledge for transforming lives, and the testimonies abound. They are so quite humbling and also quite refreshing. Usually we are on Zoom here. We're also on live on YouTube, so you can share that YouTube link to your friends, colleagues, and team members to join this so they can be part of it. So you're most welcome. This introduction is, I will take it very simply, but we've done episode 1, 2, 3, 4 last week on collaboration. And today is the final episode on experience sharing or spiritual tips on networking. Like somebody has said, and which is very true, that your network has a way of influencing or determining your net worth. In other words, how much you worth in this career, profession, or whatever you do is a function of how much you are networked. So I'll just give closing opening remarks of 5 minutes, and shortly after that we introduce the presenter's profile today, and she will present for about 30 minutes. They will take first Q&A, and Professor Afolabi will come in to give us his own professorial and award sharing testimony. Like I was telling him, out of the whole Canada, 10 of them won the award. And checking through the profile of the awardees, he's the only black guy in the midst of 9 white men. So for us, it's a testimony for us Africans. And so I want to get some of that tips. How does he look like standing in the midst of white and winning such awards? Like I was telling him that my mentor always said that it doesn't have to be white to be right. So Africans can also be part of that testimony. So after that, I will take testimony from a few of our participants, and they will present certificates. They will take some announcement and looking ahead. What after ASMN 5.0, what next? So that also activity to have. So I will just run quickly. Again, for sake of having the information, so we can use it. We're on Zoom. Just mention your name and where you're joining us from, and also if you're on YouTube, similarly mention your name and your affiliation and location so that we have such a sense. The aim is to ensure that at this beginning, we're also networking among ourselves at this stage. I've already run through this one before, so I won't go through that. Please, if you miss any of the episodes, go. I personally admonish you to go through the YouTube link, the DIaDeRC YouTube stream. That is this one. So all of the episodes are live on YouTube. So go through them to help you. So I won't go through all of that because I've gone through them before. Okay, so these are our frameworks. We've seen this one before. We mentioned that as 5% are very unique with 329 registered participants across 25 countries of the world. Apart from Africa, we have many of them joining us from across the world, from Italy, from Germany, India, Canada, Russia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Turkey, Malaysia, United Kingdom, and USA, apart from many other African countries. Okay, so for the last time today, I want to quickly mention that our super membership is still open, and as we mentioned shortly now, it will be open. This batch 3 onboarding will be open till on the 20th of June. What we prepared for the onboarding, which has been stated for 29th of June, the last Sunday in June, about 3 weeks from now for the onboarding. So we want to sincerely and personally advise and encourage that we subscribe to if you're not there yet, so you have a continued mentorship and such platform. Certificates for those who met the requirement today, as at Friday last week, they will be issued certificate today, and we have them already compiled. I will explain that later on when we are presenting it, in case your name is not there. So, so after the episode ends today, Those who are already subscribed to the premium membership, the onboarding will be done on the 29th of June, 5 p.m. GMT +1, and this is already the web. The details are on the website. Go to DIaDeRC by today onboarding, we'll get the details there. So let's get prepared. It's going to be kind of like inauguration to inculcate in you what awaits you in DIaDeRC and other benefits you can get from DIaDeRC. That will be explained on this onboarding event. So let's wait for this. Those who are not yet there, we will see open up to on the 20th of June. Both the studies 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the numbers I've done it so far. And so those who want to do their own before that time, we'll still leave it open till 20th of June. After we'll close it, so we can begin to prepare for what we have in stock. And also, as my premium membership will also be open till that time for the onboarding. Okay, this one I already shared before. Our journals, thankfully, is also on now. Was that open up for submissions? So check that on DIaDeRC journal. Okay. Also, the new channel we opened to cater for every other person, and it's a customized channel on resources and mailing called the Scholars Mentorship Network. So we have opened it and we have already running it. So we also encourage to check it out, subscribe, so you get all of the resources we share. We share once a week, every Wednesday, on key research issues, what you need to be distinguished, like a Folabi or like me. So that's we will be treated on this channel. Let's check it out and subscribe for that. Okay, we celebrated last week as me turned 2 years, and it's so amazing that within 2 years, what God has helped us to achieve. Just like same few weeks ago, we just signed MOU with Best University of Technology, which is the very first private university of technology in Nigeria. Already working on towards hosting an event by last quarter of the year. So this is the DIaDeRC team. This is the Best VC of Best and his management team after this and the MOU. So it's another milestone that we have done on that. Okay, this other course, we'll come to this later on. We are due to many needs we have received, and also to contribute to our training, and also so we're having this what do you call it, applied data science training. We're going to use 2 elements and also live session. It will run from August to October 2025. The link is there on our website. Please check it out. You see why you need to be there. Okay, I will stop here as I invite my team member to introduce the speaker for today. That's what are you? So we'll let you introduce myself.
Good evening, all, and welcome. Speaker for this day is Dr. Uche Ekato Mobayode. He is a PhD economics, UX certified data strategist and entrepreneur with a deep passion for human-centered innovation. She is the founder of XREINN, a data and product strategy firm, and Gentle Radiant Skin, a clean beauty brand redefining skincare for all ages through clinically backed eco-conscious formulations. She is a former World Bank economist and a former assistant professor at the University of Pittsburgh, Bradford. She brings a unique blend of academic rigor, real-world data expertise, and entrepreneurial vision to every space she enters. Her work spans social listening, product development, and consumer behavior, helping brands and startups unlock powerful insight for growth. Our approach sits at the intersection of data science, user experience, and inclusive innovation, driven by a mission to build products and connections that truly matters. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's welcome Dr. Uche Mobayode for our presentation. Good evening, Doctor.
Okay.
Thank
Uche,
you very much.
you have
Uche.
space. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my name is Uche Atomobayode, and the company is Xrain. I'm the founder of Xrain. Xrain is a business and data development firm that focuses on helping businesses make sense of their data and more recently building brands using data-driven insights. And as the speaker said, I am a former World Bank economist. I've also been an assistant professor of economics at the University of Pittsburgh. My background is in economics. I have a PhD in economics, a master's in statistics, and also in economics as well, before moving to, well, I think I do consider myself in general a social science researcher before anything else, because I think that the whole world of data science, consumer behavior, and human driven business development all surrounds it's born from social sciences. But today I want to talk about just to be aligned with the conference, I want to talk about networking. So I'm going to share my screen and then present. I will share my screen and project a slide where I talk about a proprietary framework of networking. So my talk today is more of, think about it as a hot take in general. So when I do get invited to talk about things, I always think about it in terms of what is my approach and how have I implemented or applied that in my work, whether it was my work as a researcher in academia or just even in business. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, Doc.
Yeah, you can see my screen. Okay.
Yes, we are seeing your screen.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that, because now that I'm sharing, I can't see anyone. So if you stop seeing my screen at any point, somebody should please jump in and let me know. So what is networking? Was somebody saying something? No?
Please go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what is networking? When you think about networking in the traditional sense, it's this idea of connecting with people, especially in a professional setting, to either get to learn or to collaborate. And I think, again, this is a hot take. I do think that traditional networking, or networking in the true sense of the word, is dead, in the sense that it's not necessarily something that gives the desired benefit that people want it to give. So I think that we need to think differently about how we network and how we show up in professional spaces. And so my talk is going to be around a 6-stage framework that I call Grow Up. So again, traditional networking, I think, is very performative. I think that in order for you to get the desired benefits, you need to grow up. So what do I mean by grow up? Before I talk about that, I want to say that my stance is just based on the idea that I think that traditional networking is both overwhelming and underwhelming. So what does that mean? Overwhelming in the sense of, think about some of the networking events that you've ever attended. For me, I find it very interesting because I remember being in academia, and it even still happens in other spaces as well, where when you attend networking events, it's always like this event where there are no seats for anyone. It's supposed to be you're standing and networking with people. And if you're lucky, there might be like some cocktail tables and things like that. And personally, in terms of personality, I consider myself as an introverted extrovert. So basically, when you meet me for the first time, you probably think, oh, she's very social, but not necessarily. I think that, yes, I do know how to work a room. However, those things really exhaust me. I find them very exhausting. So I always joke and say that for every day that I spend outside in presence of people, I need 3 working days to recover. And I mean that truly, just in terms of the amount of energy that it takes, but also because I am, in terms of personality, would rather like do the work very quietly, as opposed to like working very loudly. Not that anyone is bad. It's just really about understanding yourself. So in that sense, that idea of like being thrown into a group of people and just like wanting to interact because you're trying to either get people to collaborate with you or work with you is overwhelming in that sense. But also underwhelming, because once you leave, if you don't follow up or you don't find people whose work are aligned with yours, it really doesn't go anywhere. So in that sense, is performative. And so because of that, I really truly believe that if you rethink how we network and how we show up, it brings better results. And so again, I think that in order to rethink that, we sort of have to think about what's really wrong with traditional networking. Like I said, just too many business cards, too few connections. Like you're trying to like exchange contacts with people, but how many of them are you really building real connections with? And then more often than not, you find yourself having to make too much small talk. Again, small talks are not bad. Like you have to like think about it as icebreakers, right? If you're trying to command a room, you typically would like think about, oh, how to break the ice, or like what are things that you say to get people to warm up to you. But then again, if you don't follow up after that, it just doesn't go anywhere. So there's like too much talk, too little follow up. And then if you're doing this on social media, which LinkedIn is like the place for people to connect professionally on social media, there's like you're sending so many LinkedIn requests or connecting with people, but the relationships don't always feel very real. So because of that, what actually works and what do we need to do in order to move away from that traditional networking that doesn't really serve us the way it's supposed to? I think the first thing is to understand that real opportunities come when you become the kind of person that is worth knowing. So a lot of times people are looking for opportunities, but I think the best opportunities are the one that you create for yourself. And then that happens while you're doing the real work. So I often say real networking is a byproduct of real work. If you let your work lead, people will usually find your work before they find you. So relationships in general that build on values and not vanity metrics are the ones that actually last. So it's not really about the number of people that you talk to or the number of people that shows up. It's like the number of people you have a real connection with and the number of people, the number of connections that actually lead to something meaningful for you professionally. So Grow Up is my 6 principles framework for building real relationships through real work. So what does it mean to grow up? Well, obviously is an acronym. And I am very notorious for coming up with acronyms that not only vibe with the topic, but also are very meaningful. So I'm going to go through them very quickly and then I'll talk on each one and sort of like just expand on it some more. So G is Grieve Freely, R is Reach Across, O is Own Your Work, W is work quietly but consistently, and U is to understand value alignment, and P, prepare before you're ready. So let's go through the first one. What does it mean to give freely? It's not that I'm saying, so let me be very clear here. It's not that I'm saying that you shouldn't network, really. I'm saying that you need to rethink the way that you network. So to give freely means that do not try to withdraw from a bucket that you haven't contributed to. And when most people try to network, that's what they do. You need to be able to put yourself in a position where you're giving before asking. Don't wait to be asked to be a contributor. So think about it. It's different when you come to someone and say, hey, I've seen your work. I have something of value that I think could be useful to your work. That ask is different than, oh, I saw your work and I need XYZ from you. So a lot of times people are more likely to warm up to you when you're offering them something than when you're asking them for a favor. So always put yourself in a position where you're offering insight and support or visibility without needing something in return. So in general, it's not that you shouldn't ask, but form the habit of giving first. And sometimes in professional settings, this doesn't come naturally. It has to be through intentional work. And it's not that you're giving people something only because you're, strategizing on how to come back and get it. Like truly, truly give first, give often, and give without keeping track of what you're giving. And what that means professionally is contribute. If you join a group or like you're trying to get something from a group, make sure that you are joining with the mindset of being a contributor. So this is really just a mindset shift. then this is my favorite one. A lot of times when people are thinking about how to network and who to reach out to, it's more like they're thinking about someone who's already ahead. Again, reaching out to someone you think is ahead of you professionally is great. However, most times we overlook people that are on the same level with us. Like, that's your coworker, the one who got hired with you, the classmate that you have, the friend that you have. These are people who are your future co-authors. They are your future co-founders, but you're overlooking them because you're looking up to the guy who has already built his network. And that guy does not necessarily want to like work with you, at least not at the time T, except of course you have something to offer. So we often try to build relationships upward when we should tighten the relationship across. Your peers are your ecosystem, and I cannot even stress this enough. Grow with them, and you would find that doors will begin to open organically just because you're not forcing things. And so most times, your strongest connections, I would even argue that, yeah, more than most times, like almost all the time, your strongest connections are with people that are on the same level with you, because these people are people that you can grow together, you can feel together, you can learn together. It's not like someone who is ahead that you're always reaching out to, that you're chasing. And quite frankly, in those instances, sometimes when we're trying to network upward, what we are actually seeking is mentorship, not necessarily network. And you have to understand that there's a difference. Seeking mentors are not wrong, but when you're seeking someone who is above you, either someone's work who you admire, you usually are seeking some type of mentorship. The problem with that framework is typically for mentorship to work, the person whom you're seeking mentorship from has to understand that you're seeking mentorship from them, and they have to be willing to mentor you. Most times that's really not how it works out, because like you're reaching out and you're like, oh, I'm trying to reach out to this person either because I want to get something from them, and they're just not ready because, again, time is limited. Most folks don't have time, and also being someone's mentor means a huge investment. I was reading a book recently, and the author of that book, I don't remember what the name was talking about how a mentor has to be invested in you and has to believe in you enough to want to help you succeed. So it's really an action, like somebody needs to be taking that action, and people usually may not be as invested. Like they might like give you like something that is one-off, like help you that one time, but not necessarily follow you across your life or across the ecosystem. So, and that's why it breaks down, because if the person doesn't really understand what what you're wanting them to offer, then you won't get the kind of results that you think you want to get. Then the other thing, which is also equally important, is to own your work. For most people, when you're reaching out professionally, where you're like reaching out to somebody, say you want to work with them, or you, I don't know, want to like understand their work or even be their friend, there is really no clarity. If I asked you, what do you do? If you're not able to coherently describe what you do in just a few sentences, it means that even you don't know your work. So you have to be known for something solid. And usually your best pitch is the work that you've already done consistently, because that's what's already out there. So build something worth discovering. And I usually have this very favorite line, and not that I don't think I'm deliberately like that. I will argue that I'm not, but I always say, be very easy to find and hard to reach. What does that mean? Being easy to find means that you have to do enough work. If somebody was like to look you up or to look up something you've done, it should be easy for them to find it. Like, for example, if you Googled me, you would find a lot of my work out there. But if you're trying to find me in person, I don't know that you'd have that luck. You probably would have to know me personally to be able to find me. And it's not necessarily deliberate. I think it's just a function of, obviously, if you've done a lot of things that are out there. So like I would often meet people, and they would say, oh, like, I stumbled upon this thing that you've done in the past. And sometimes, quite frankly, I would have to think about it really hard to be like, oh yeah, I'm sure I did this at this point in time, and that's interesting that somebody found it, right? But you're not necessarily going to find information on how to reach me very quickly, except of course, like you're in my network. So your work should be that easy to find. And it means that you have to know your work and you have to understand the avenues in which you share that work. And the other thing that people often overlook, that is part of networking that really works, is you have to work quietly and you have to work consistently. And I know that like in this present age, it's 2025, the advent of social media where people are thinking that everything happens so quickly. The truth is that it doesn't. Overnight success, in case you didn't know this, overnight success actually takes at least 10 years. And a lot of times when people are like, oh, this person just like sprung up, they just sprung up overnight. Yeah, it's usually over many nights. And that's like one of my fondest things to say when people are like, oh, you know, I guess you started working on this not very long ago. No, I didn't start working on it not very long ago. This has been years and years of work. It's been like something that has grown over time. So don't get lost trying to be visible. Let people find you doing something valuable. So this means that you have to show up consistently. And every day when you show up consistently, it's not always going to be easy every day. And you're not going to feel like doing it every day. So it means that there are some days where your work doesn't feel like your work, but you show up regardless, irrespective of what's going on with you, because consistently builds reputation faster than cloud. Anything that you do consistently, and here's the catch. I've met a few people across my life that would look and be like, oh, you're so smart. And while I appreciate that compliment, which is great, it's not that I don't believe I'm smart. I do, in fact, believe that I'm very smart. However, success is not built around being very smart, it's built on consistency. You are better off not being very smart, but being very consistent. You would do much more better than someone who is smart but only shows up once in a while. So the things that consistently would help you achieve over time, it's not something that happens very quickly, but over time, anything that you consistently do, you get better at. And while it might not seem very obvious, it's part of how you network, because if you show up and continue to be good at what you're doing, your work would go before you and speak for you. And after a while, people will just know you or know your work, actually know your work. And I say that differently because I do think there's a difference that people know your work, and not everybody likes to keep a public profile or a high profile. But there are some people whose work in some certain fields, you just know if you are in that field. And then just to be fully transparent, just because you've given freely, you've reached across with people on your level, you own your work and you work consistently, does not always mean that every door that is openable would open, right? And I say that from personal experience, and also just in general, because sometimes people get discouraged when they think that, oh, I've done everything right, I should have everything that I want. Now, that's not how it works. Most things that are out of reach for you, not because you haven't done things right, but because they're just not aligned. So I give you an example. Let's say you're a researcher and you've been doing, my research when I was in academia was around conflict, right? And then you're doing things on conflict, for example, and then there's this big opportunity in another field. You don't expect that opportunity to be for you because it's just not aligned with your work, right? And so this happens especially when you've picked a niche, your work is very niche. And just because the door is not opening does not mean that you're not good enough. It just means that it's not aligned. And that's the reason why you have to understand value alignment and then focus your energy on chasing things that are actually aligned to you. Because everybody that you're chasing is looking for something. If you're building an alignment with their mission, they will find you. One good example is oftentimes when people ask me, well, how did you get this opportunity? I like to tell the story about when I first, after my PhD, when I first got into the World Bank, I had applied for jobs. I think at that time, that year, it was, if I remember correctly, it was called the African Fellowship Program. I'd applied for jobs and then I'd gotten a few interviews, really great interviews, by the way. I would say like at that time, I was good at interviewing. And so I think, at least in my opinion, I think that I'd attended a few great interviews, and I was waiting to hear back from a couple of them that I thought were very promising. And then one day I was minding my business and I got a call um from the woman that ended up being my boss. And she called me and she said, "Hey, Uche, I was just like reading your work and we had this program. I had funding from USAID and things like that." And she's like, are you in DC? I said no, because then I was in school, I was back in Illinois. And then she asked me when I was coming around to DC. I was like, well, first of all, the way she had asked, I didn't live in the DC area at the time. I wasn't in DC. And then I was like, yeah, sure, I guess I could come to DC if you want me to come and interview. She was like, no, she didn't want to interview, that if I wanted the job, it was mine. And I tell that story, and literally, no jokes, this was how I got the first opportunity. Why? Because she had literally gotten funding that was for research in conflict, and that was my PhD dissertation. So at the time that she picked up the phone and called me, she was reading my work, and then she said she wanted me to just continue doing that research under that program. And that was how I got the opportunity. So value alignment is very important. If you're aligned with somebody's work and you're just like doing the right thing in the right place at the right time, and somebody was looking for something that particular, they will find you and they will call you. So one of the biggest takeaways from this is life runs on incentives, and when incentives are aligned and match, connections feels effortless. Now, I could have attended all of the networking events, which was happening at the time, by the way. I know like there were so many conferences when you're like in final year of PhD in economics. There's like I've forgotten about them now, but there were like lots of conferences. We had a long list in grad school of all the conferences like you need to attend, and I had attended everything. I literally went to everything, everyone on the list. I was going and traveling around the country and going to all of these events. None of the opportunities came from those events, and maybe they would have. I don't know, because obviously I get the opportunity that feels aligned. I just check out and then keep it moving. But my point is, when your work aligns with what somebody else is doing, they will find you. And then when they find you, it feels effortless and it feels like an opportunity that has been waiting for you just because of that alignment. And then obviously, I guess it goes without saying, prepare before you're ready. And this one, I used to be guilty of this in the early days where, of course, when you're chasing opportunities, you find out about something. Let's say there is a grant, there is a conference that is not aligned with your work at all. Like I said, like it's just like me doing something on conflict, but then there's a grant on business development that popped up. I know that's not my work. I know that's not my area. And then suddenly, last minute, I'm scrambling and trying to like write a proposal to submit for that conference that is not aligned. While that might make sense, because you're like, well, I'm chasing all of these opportunities and I want them to come. It might make sense, but in the long run, it doesn't necessarily work, because what would in fact be perfect is to continue what you're doing and only find opportunities that are aligned with what you're doing, so that when those opportunities come, you would already have a long track of work in that area. So this is what I call preparing before you're ready, because it's not that you are responding, like you're not being reactive to opportunities, you are being proactive to them, because they would match you and meet you where you are. So one of the key ways to do this is to build habits, skill sets, and create value before opportunity knocks. Be the person that your future self would thank. And so what that means is, if there's something that you're looking up to, like I said, remember I had said overnight success really actually takes 10 years, or maybe 5 to 10 years. You have to understand how the cycle of your life works. For me, it's typically 5 to 10 years. And so what that means is, I always say that everything that looks like is working right now is probably a function of work that I did 5 years ago. This means that the kind of person I want to be in the next 5 years is the kind of person I'm working towards today. So because again, there isn't anybody that tells you there is like a, well, I guess get rich scheme or get successful quickly scheme. It's not being completely honest because a lot of things that are good take time and they take work. And so you typically have to work towards something. And over time, it feels like it's easy. But the truth is, you have to work towards it and allow things time to take off. So I want to share some grounded truths about connection. That these are just like, think about them as like random things that I think are super helpful. Most barriers are internal, not external. What do I mean by that? A lot of times we are the ones that create scenarios of why things wouldn't work in our head as opposed to why they would work. So a lot of times when people are talking about all of their things that are going to stand in their way, it's stuff that they make up. Simple example, at least that I've learned in the past year or two about business. A lot of times people would be like, oh, I want to do this, or I have this idea that I want to execute on. And then I ask them, so why are you not moving on it? And they start saying things on, oh, I don't think I have this. And I'm like, you are making all of those stuff up because a lot of times you don't even know the problems that you have. And I'm not saying you wouldn't have problems, you would, because it's just the way life is. If you embark on something, anything meaningful at all, there will be challenges. But most of the challenges that people encounter are challenges that they make up themselves, not real life challenges. Because what will typically happen in real life is, as human beings, we are built to adapt. And if you have challenges, we oftentimes negotiate those challenges in real time. And most of the challenges that are real are challenges that also have solutions. So the world misprepared people. And so if you have something that you want to be, or a version of yourself that you want to see, then you have to really work towards it and don't make up problems before you have them. The next thing is the things that you think are out of reach are things that you haven't really tried. So again, what do you feel is most out of reach, and what do you feel is standing in your way to be who you want to be? The problem is that we are always looking up to people to help us take the next step because we think that if we have the real connections or meet the right people, that is often not true. Do you need people? Absolutely, yes. Do you need people every time to move forward? I argue no. I think that the most important person that you need is yourself. And most times, the people that we are looking for is just a version of ourselves that we're yet to become. So walk towards it because opportunities only go to people who stay ready. So you have to be ready for the opportunities that you want. Now, this is one of my favorite things. The people that you admire aren't superhuman. They are just walking through their own struggles. So you have to build with intention and release with trust. Now, again, I cannot say this enough. When we network, we look forward to people. We're looking up to people because we think that those people have something or they are like something that we want. And then we think that if we connect with them, we will be able to connect with that. And when in reality, you are just looking up to a version of yourself that you think is impossible. And I'll tell you this for free because now people do that to me where people want to reach out to you because they think that you have the secret sauce to something. And then you'll be very disappointed when you then find that I'm just a regular human being. I don't have any secret sauce. I just like walk into a room and I don't believe in impossibilities, which means that do I think that everything would open up or I have all the opportunities that I want? Absolutely not. But I also don't talk myself out of opportunities without having to try them first. And I think that's where most people miss it. You have to try something and understand why it's not going to work for you, as opposed to assuming that it wouldn't work. There isn't anybody that is a superhuman. Even the best people, the people that we think have the most opportunities, also have their fears and their struggles. People are struggling with something at any given time. And so don't make up situations in your head and think that there are people who have things and or who are where you want to be and that they're better than you, because in reality, nobody's really better. Growing up for me wasn't just personal, it was strategic. And I mean like the grew up framework, the 6 principles frameworks that I've talked about. Just thinking about giving freely and reaching across and all of that step building up to getting ready before opportunities knock gave me the discipline to do the work and gave me the clarity to become a brand. And I talk about a brand as being someone worth knowing, not just someone that people notice. So consistency that I've talked about now a lot of times opens more doors than charisma ever would. You can show up and people like you for who you are because you're funny or things like that, but people will always just remember you for the work that you've done. Relationships depend when I led with values, not the request. So I give the example of how I got my first opportunity at the World Bank. I interviewed at network, I'd done everything right. But it really just came down to somebody finding something that I did that really aligned with what she was looking for at that point in time. And I didn't even have to interview. Visibility matters at that point, like when you're working so hard because you want people to know you. And a lot of people do that. Like, let's say, again, in this world of social media, you're on LinkedIn, you're like very visible, people know you, but what do they know you for? And I always say when people are really big on building their network because they want people to know them, like, what are you trying to be visible about? Like, okay, now we know you, then what? So if there's nothing real behind that visibility, it becomes more of a cost than it is a blessing. So here's the question you should always ask yourself. Are you leading with value? If you haven't built anything yet, what are you really showcasing? And if you're asking people for something or you're asking them for a connection, you want to work with them or you want to like get aligned with them, is your ask rooted in alignment or in approval seeking? Like, are you trying to just be in that circle and in that space because everyone you know is been in that space or because you think that that's the next step for you? Or are you wanting to be in that space because it aligns with what you're building? My take from this is do not try to market a brand that you're not building. And when I'm talking about a brand, really here, I'm talking about yourself because I think about people as a brand and you should think about yourself as a brand too. So in order to become a brand, how do you do that? You have to build credibility through consistency, root yourself in purpose, articulate your value very clearly, and nurture meaningful relationships. Collaboration over clout wins all of the time. And then finally, demonstrate growth in everything that you do. Let your evolution speak louder than your exposure. So, which means that it's really about the work. Exposure will come at a time when, if exposure comes at a time that you've already done the work, then people don't just know you, they know you in connection to something. And those are the kind of things that actually build relationships that last. Finally, I've talked about this briefly. When you're trying to reach out and connect and collaborate with people, make sure that you're clear on what's happening. Are you asking for sponsorship or for mentorship? Neither is bad, but clarity is very important. If you're asking for mentorship, which in some instances could be great, you're looking up to someone and you really think that being mentored by the person would be valuable. It just has to be a two-way street. Remember, like mentorship is a two-way street. Sponsorship or mentorship isn't bad, but be honest and be very clear what you're asking. If you're only benefiting and not bringing value, then really that's sponsorship because that's how sponsorship or mentorship works. It's one way, the other person is trying to invest in you. But what you shouldn't do is to seek sponsorship disguised or mentorship disguised as networking because that's where disappointments pile up. Mutuality builds trust and desperation breaks it. So a lot of times when people are like reaching out, there's just like a lot of desperate moves, like you're reaching out to someone, it's not quite aligned. They're not like necessarily responding to you. And every time the tone of either your messaging or the way that you're reaching out gets more and more desperate. Just think about like even in real life, outside of the professional world, you're trying to be friends with someone or even ask them on a date. What do you think would resonate more? Being someone that somebody can emotionally connect with or being someone that desperately needs someone. Nobody likes whoever is desperate. So don't be that person. Before you reach out, always be clear with what you're offering. And most times things work out when you're trying to give before you're asking for a favor. I want to leave you with this. Start small, start strong. It doesn't have to be something that is big or something that is super innovative where it changes the world. Like everybody wants to change the world, but the truth is that in order to change the world, you have to start by changing the things around you. Prepare before you perform, and again, reach across before you reach up. Start in that small circle, your group of friends, your colleagues at work, your classmates, people that are in those inner circles, and always, always, always give before you ask. Do not draw from something that you haven't contributed to. And most times when you're building, when you're in that stage where you're putting the work, you're putting in the work, you're working and you're like trying to like level up, it always feels like you're behind, but you're not. You're building. So remember, I said earlier that everything comes in phases, right? And there is really nothing like overnight success. Overnight success often takes at least 5 to 10 years. Be who you're looking up to and be the person that your younger self was waiting for. So essentially, when you're looking up to somebody or you're looking up to someone who you think is far, far above you, what you're really looking up to is a future version of yourself. And the only way to become a future version of yourself is to start building that future version now. Well, thank you very much. Like I said, I think about networking in terms of like what we have to give as opposed to what we are receiving. So it's not that you shouldn't try to be connections with people, but let's be very intentional about what that means. And usually the value that we have is really in what we are trying to give as opposed to what we're trying to receive. So I'm going to stop here now. I think I've talked for over 30 minutes and just like for
Yeah.
questions and
Yeah,
questions.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I didn't have the courage to post or to ask that you have 5 minutes. I know you are going for the comment on the session, like everybody is following you. So it will be difficult to say stop. Thanks so much, but thanks for your right on time. You added some extra, which is very good, going beyond what we expected. Thanks so much. So we have heard all of those insightful experience sharing from personal perspective. That's one of the things we enjoy on this platform is not just a theories. People coming to tell you, this is what I did to get where I am. And one thing that stood out for me is that once somebody become overnight success, that might have taken 5 to 10 years. So it's not overnight. Thanks. If you have quick question, let's take them. You can write them on the chat section, both here on Zoom or on the YouTube link, YouTube platform. Or if it's burning you, you can raise your hand and we'll recognize you. So we have some few minutes for Q&A. Thank you so much. And God bless you. Okay. So who is going? Question. Can we hear me, please? I want to be sure.
Yes,
Can I be heard?
we are hearing you clearly.
Great. So thanks so much. Yes. Quick question. We have a few minutes to go on that. Quick question to Dr. Uche that has given us so much insight on networking from different perspectives. Grow up. That's the summary of it. Somebody say you must grow up so that you don't groan. And then when you grow up, you stay up. But when you jump up, you come down. Yeah, anybody has any quick question, either on the comments or you raise your hand. We recognize you could have a lot today, so we can run very fast. Any check it, please, Tim. Let's check our comment both on YouTube on question or quick comment. Yeah, you can also raise your hand. We will recognize it. Okay. There's a huge. So listening the slides here would be great. Okay. You already have the slides, so it's on YouTube. So we are doing streaming. So you have this already. Okay. Thanks. How do we, there's a small one, Uche. How do we handle competition among peers since we are pursuing similar things? I think that's a good one. You encourage that we should collaborate among our peers, which somebody call horizontal networking. Since all of you are the same, you apply for the same position, applying to be, so how do you handle most likely, try don't take your information insights to become, to edge you out. So how do you handle that? Thank you so much. That's the one question from one of our participants right there. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. If you can take that, that would be great.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Competition amongst peers. So I guess, what are you competing for? So when you say competition, is that like in terms of competing for, say, the same position? So if you're working with somebody, you're competing for the same promotion or things like that. If that's not the case and you're talking about competition just in terms of like the work that you're doing, I think that most times, and again, I know that this varies across different ecosystems. I don't know what the context that this person is asking the question from. Who's asking this question?
That's from this Ojiv,
Adesoji. Yeah, I don't really know the context, but I'm just going to like again talk from personal experience. There's always going to be competition, but competition is really, it's really a competition when you say it is. I always have different like hot takes, like, and then I tend to like approach things differently. You cannot be, somebody can be competing with you, but you're not competing with them. It only becomes a competition if you define it as a game. Why are you competing is my question. So when I was in grad school, I was in fourth year. So PhD in the US is 5 years, right? So fourth year grad school. Someone came to me and she was like a first year student at the time. And she came to me and then she asked me a question. She was like, "Oh, Uche, how do you deal with being the only girl in your class?" And it had been 4 years. I hadn't even noticed that I was the only girl in the class because I wasn't coming to class every day thinking like that. I was like, "Oh, that's true. Wait a minute. I'm actually the only girl in this class." But if anything, I came to class every day looking at my classmates. If anything, I didn't think that they were better than me or I was competing with them. If anything at all, I thought I was better than them. And I don't mean that in a bad way. So it was like, and just so we're very, very clear. So obviously there were some times like they would get better grades than I did and things like that. But that wasn't my goal. I wasn't trying to take first position in grad school. I was just trying to get through the program because for me, that was a path to somewhere. And so it all goes back to value alignment. Who is competing with you? Are you competing with them? So the most important thing is that you're not trying to compete with who's competing with you, because you might be at the same level with someone doing the same work, and collaboration at that level. The things that you benefit from collaboration is always going to be greater than what you lose. If you understand where you're going and you know that I'm putting in the work to get somewhere. So I'll give you another example. When I got into the World Bank, I got into the World Bank as a fellow. So after I finished the fellowship program at the World Bank, I left and I went to academia, then came back to the World Bank as a young professional. Everybody knows the YPP program at the World Bank. It's one of the most competitive ways to get into the bank. And you know what's funny? The competition doesn't end after you get the job. Now everybody starts is competing with each other. Everybody's trying to be like the best YP and things like that. And so again, good and bad for me. I don't even know if this is a good thing. So after I got into the YP program, you get a 5-year contract, right? And so the YP program, I think, lasts 3 years. Again, I say all of these things because I don't remember them to the T, just because I'm always very forward thinking, because I'm there, I'm already thinking what the next steps are going to be. So anyway, I didn't follow the traditional path. I got in and then had 2 kids in 2 years. So now I was in third year YP program and I'd gone on maternity leave twice. By the time I came back after my second maternity leave, I had like this talk with my boss at the time, my manager, and he started telling me how other YPs had he was there telling me what other YPs were doing and how they were doing so good and how I had to catch up. And in my head, I'm thinking, catch up with what? I'm not competing with anybody. I'm not trying to catch up on anything because I already chosen my path. You can't like, why am I trying to catch up with someone who's been there for 3 years, hadn't gone on maternity leave twice? What are we trying to catch up on? Matter of fact, if I came back from a second maternity leave and you were still in the same position that I left you, what were you doing? So, and I think that not having that competitive mindset in terms of like you're trying to like, I guess my point is you have to be very realistic with what you're trying to do and understand that you and somebody else can be doing exactly the same thing, but you're still on different paths, right? And so competition really is a state of mind, right? So be careful what you allow yourself, I guess, take on and internalize. If it's a competition in terms of you're applying for the same job, now that makes sense. So because if you're doing the same things that people are doing, you're either applying for the same job, applying for the same promotion, or things like that, then of course you have to put your best foot forward. But if it's like a career thing, and you're like, well, I'm competing with my peers because we are either doing the same type of research or because we are in the same field, then I would argue that you're making stuff up, because if you are in the same field with someone or you're in the same area, why are you trying to compete with them? Ask yourself that, because sometimes we set ourselves up for failure by having very unrealistic expectations. I wouldn't try to compete with someone. I would instead try to create my own path. And even if it was even in the situation that I described, where you're either applying for the same jobs or trying to get the same things, understand that if there is a limited opportunity where only one person is going to get that job, then maybe that opportunity isn't just for you. Maybe if somebody else got it and you didn't get it, maybe that was the opportunity, and maybe your opportunity is somewhere else. So you have to learn to do the work, but also don't get too attached to things. I always say, like, don't be too attached to anything in particular. Understand that if your values are aligned, you would always find yourself exactly where you need to be eventually. So yes, do the work, but don't let the mindset of competition consume you, because in reality, we are each, or all of us, we are all on our own path, and everybody's path is unique in some sense. You cannot really compete with someone. And if you're living your life just to compete, then you're going to be stressing yourself out a lot more than you should. Does that make sense? Again, I don't understand the context, like more context.
Okay, thanks so much,
Great.
Uchi. I think I will just add to that. Actually, I didn't see us like to say this, which is one, because I have a slide I added today just to quickly talk on this. What's like after I will call on the Professor Folabi to give us his own professorial and award experience sharing his own another. So there's a slide I just added today, and I was just started reflecting on this. And yeah, this is the slide. Can we see my screen? You can see my screen. Please confirm you can see my screen. Yeah, so Uji talk
Yes,
about
we can see.
Yes, I can.
yeah,
Can
great. So this actually was during our very first ASMN 1.0 from Professor Asungu. You can also check it on our YouTube. But I brought this slide because you look at the three layers or three levels of collaboration, partnership, or networking. Is according to him, which I also align with because I just reflect on it. It's like what I do or what I actually went through. That at the early stage of a career, okay, you as much as you can, you don't neglect your peers, which is talk about, because all of you are growing together. So at least 50% of your collaboration, networking at that level should be from same peer, which we call a horizontal networking or horizontal partnership collaboration. Okay. And then the other 50% should be what we call a forward vertical. You now look up to those ones who can mentor you. So it's like a 50 horizontal, same level with you, 50 upwards, level of mentorship. That's grown to mid stage. So you can make it like a quarter, 1/3 of each. So 1/3 should be what they call a backward vertical. So at this point, you're already growing. You should also begin to give back, look backwards to those who can actually collaborate with by helping them out. So you are serving like a kind of a mini mentor at this stage. 1/3 of that should be that, while also keeping your own peers. Okay, 1/3 that which is also horizontal collaboration networking, and then you also maintain your upward looking forward vertical. Those who can also mentor you. So you are a bit mentoring, you are collaborating with your peers, you're also working upwards, forward vertical. Then when you get to established stage, of course, yeah, you are giving back more. So 50% should be what we call backward vertical. You are mentoring more, 50%. And then you still keep your peers. So you see at every stage, your horizontal, your peers are always there because these are actually those you grew up with. And I try to look at that. I just reflected on some. I'll give you this picture. I don't know. This will be me. I will have to check through my email to know when this happened. This actually occurred I call it 1010, November 2010. I was at the final stage of my PhD. This is a young lady, Florence Duffy. I will tell you more stories. So she just saw one of my works. I do you talk about let your work discover you. Did a work on financial reforms after we do bank consolidation, just in a single topic, but not this is not too classic, but something around kind of reforms and the informal sector, all of that. And she wrote me that she wanted to visit to have a chat with me from Germany. She was doing her PhD in Germany. She actually came and I received this actually at Common University Gate 2010. And this what we like call it horizontal collaboration it opened the door to Germany for me. This is because she was working on Nigeria, on central bank reform in Nigeria, in Uganda, and in Kenya. So this was in 2011 at the finance. No, this I finished. This is 11 November 2011. We're going to a program in Kenya called PASGA. She was also there at that time. She was in Kenya for her own fieldwork. So we met again, and so when I needed to apply for a postdoc, and the so-called AVH, President of Humboldt postdoc. So I needed to get a host. So through this lady said, yeah, but you're working on institutional land grabbing. I have a colleague in my university, in my institute, then it's called DIE, German Development Institute in Bonn. Yeah, I think he will be very, I wrote to him, she wrote to him and copied me, so they're collaborating. And thankfully, that same person is still today our direct advisory board member, Michael Brunto. Okay, so when Michael was very thorough, was reading every paragraph I wrote in the proposal, correcting like another PhD. He said, "But since Michael is delaying, I have another colleague in Giga in Hamburg that you can also talk to." So I also talked to somebody, and that was very fast. So through her, I got two hosts in sort of one in Hamburg and in Germany. So what I mean is that, like you said, don't neglect your peers. Know what you want, because these are the ones that we grow together. And today now, by God's grace, in September, we also meet in UK this September this year for a project I'm working on financial development and institutions. And also I was invited to be part of the International Advisory Board for that project. So you could see how that we talk about when somebody becomes success overnight. From 2030 now, how many years? That's over almost 15 years plus. So you can imagine how it is. So the people we are meeting on this platform today, let's not play with them. Maybe on the same level, but ensure you collaborate with them, contribute, like what you said, what are you bringing onto the table? Very important. Having said that, I want to now go to the next item as I welcome my big brother and my big friend, my co-host of this program. Then it was Dr. Taiwo Afolabi, now Professor. She will give us some professor and award insight. So Afolabi, please, I will start sharing now. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Prof. And thanks, Dr. Uche Eketo Mobayode. Thanks for your thoughts and for your framing. And I think that so maybe what I would do is to my thinking is just to share some experience, some insight from my own experience. And if you have any question, I want it to be very interactive. So please feel free to type in your question. Feel free to type in your question, and I'm happy to respond to that. But I wanted to just kind of just and thanks for the presentation again, Dr. Uche. Really beautiful slides and beautiful way to conceptualize some of those thoughts that you shared. Really, really, really nice way to to capture them. So thank you for that. Um, I wanted to start from the question that somewhat the question around competition. Because I want to be very honest, it's real. Um, and I think that the system where we find ourselves, I know largely those that are on this call, you are in the academia, whether you're in the early career or you are mid career or you are at the beginning of wanting to do your PhD or you're finishing your master's or you're looking for postdoc and all of that. And the system is built in a way that you are competing with someone. You are vying for something, 100 applications. And I just reviewed I just reviewed a particular application just few weeks ago where we had over 300 applicants, and we needed to take at just 50. So the reality is that. But I want to, so if you permit me, so I think that part of what Dr. Chi is trying to talk about is really the mindset around the idea of competition. So the word compete or competition means an activity or a condition of striving to gain or win something by defeating or establishing superiority over others. Uh, you can check it out later on. Just read, just for me, I try to read words and let it sink in because this definition itself it shows me that something is wrong somewhere. We've been ingrained with this idea that you are always in competition with the other person and you want to get the person, you want to have an upper edge over the other person and all of that. And because our context here is research, our context here is again, like I said, for most folks on this call, it's in the academia. When a call comes out or a particular competition comes out, even if all of you are in the same field, there is no way all of you are going to submit the same thing. So really asking the question, what's your niche? And how does your niche is in alignment with the value that that competition is bringing out, call is bringing out. Because we have this mindset about competition that it's about defeating another person. It's about establishing a superiority over others. Like there has to be a paradigm shift. There has to be a change in our mindset. So when we understand that we're not in competition with anyone, but first with ourselves to get better. That's one. Number two is knowing that when we set out around the idea of relationality, which again Dr. Uche talked about with grow up and don't take for what you didn't put and really building relationship and connection, reciprocity and all of those things. It changes our mindset on how we engage with things. So that if there is if there is there is a competition, there is a call, and they were only going to choose one person, and it was not you, it was the other person, that we celebrate together. We celebrate our wins and our successes together. That's how we build relationality and reciprocity. It changes our mindset around how things are set up. So when I was doing my PhD, I had an experience. I went this at the time. There was this particular funding opportunity that was open to the entire university. It was a national competition. And so, for me, I was looking out for, as an international student, looking for opportunities and all of that. And I kind of researched, I realized that I don't think anyone from my department had gotten that opportunity before, at least from my understanding. I may be wrong at the time. So I took that idea to to my department, and I told them I'd love to apply for this and all of that. And unfortunately, it was just one day like that. My supervisor just walked up to me and said, well, we've decided you're not the one that will be applying for this for this proposal. It's somebody else. They told me the person that is selected. I was angry. I have to be honest. I was, because I was thinking, I brought this opportunity, and even though it was sent out to the university, nobody flagged it. I flagged it. Um, I was really, I was really not happy because there was no due process, and and all of those things. And of course, the person that they gave was my own, was my colleague, and my peer, as it were. So it was really tough. Anyway, of course, I wish them well. They applied for it, they got it. It's really a prestigious thing. They got it. And so I went back and went back to my own drum board, and my own value system starts from my own work with God. So I wanted to really put that out there. And the first place I went to do was to pray. God, what exactly happened here, and all of that. And of course, all of that was resolved for me. I was happy for them. They got it. I even sent email to them, really appreciated them, really, I was really, I congratulated them rather. And then a few years later, in fact, the final year that I was leaving for my position, this same person walked up to me and was apologizing that they were very sorry that they, they are taking our relationship as a very competitive one because we're doing the same program, we're peers and all of that. And for them, they said, they didn't know what to make of it because they thought we're competing with each other, but then I've proved them wrong, blah, 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 and all of that. And then I did tell them, I said, listen, even though we're studying the same course, even though we're in the same university, the same department, the reality is that our research are not the same. Even if our research are the same, you and I are not the same. So when we talk about, and I'm saying that because we need to start thinking about where, yes, we have peers that we're going to be collaborating with and all of those things. We have to also understand that we're not really in competition with anyone. We're working to make ourselves better. We understand that these calls are going to come out and they're going to select somebody, and it may not be you. We have to be okay with that. When it becomes you that they select, be grateful. Like, a lot of the times we celebrate wins. For one win, if you know how many ones that have been rejected that people don't even know about. But I'll still be grateful for people that were selected. In fact, when I think it's on this 4.0 that I sent, and I told the participant that, if I submit something, an application, and I don't get it, I still write back to say thank you so much for even reviewing my application. Those that were accepted, I wish them the very best and blessings. Right. Because see, that's the kind of mindset that we need to start having. For me, I believe that a new generation of researchers, practitioners, and professionals are rising up that are really centering position reciprocity. They are centering relationship rather than trying to fight and hustle and try to beat the other person or make the other person think they are superior than them. Seriously, really? So I hope that I hope that that example help us to change our mindset about some of these things. And again, the system where we find ourselves, we have to wean ourselves from that system. It's a very resource deficit thinking, it's not from a strength-based approach, it's from a weakness approach, it's from a not enough mindset. And so that way, we're always walking around that we're never enough. We're always walking around that person, oh, I want to be better than that person. Seriously? I think we need to change that. And then that would then help us to, whatever disappointment may be, we'll take a step back to reassess. Do I need to do something differently? Maybe there is no value alignment, like Dr. Uche was talking about. And at times there is value alignment, but we don't have enough spaces, right? I run programs, initiatives across the world by God's grace. And there are times that I have hundreds of applications and I have resources for only 5 people. And at times I go to bed and I'm like, God, I wish I just have money to take all these 100 people there because they're all great ideas. But I only have to take 5. And I'm sorry. So, so again, when we don't have it, when we don't get it, it's not because the other person is better than us or the other person is trying to be superior than us. No, it's just a matter of resources. It's just a matter of timing. There are many things that these things are involved that we have to factor in, right? There was an application that I submitted recently and they reached out to me. Of course, I didn't get it. They told me they had slot for 5 positions. They had 300 applications and they shortlisted only 30. I was part of the 30 that they shortlisted, but they had to pick 5. So 5 out of 300. So you see, at the end of the day, we have to understand that these things are very, very, like these things are not just, it's not black and white. And if we have a not a good sense of our own identity, I think this is an opportunity for us to change that. A lot of the time we reflect how we think about ourselves really on the other people. So take time to know that you are enough. Take time to appreciate your growth. Take time to know that I am growing at my pace. I'm not in competition with anyone. I'll try as much as possible to be better every single day, right? I'll try as much as possible to build relationships, right? Rather than just networking and just throwing everything all over the place. Because at the end of the day, now I'm at that point again where I'm thinking of value alignment. Beyond value alignment, I'm thinking of character alignment, all right? Because those things become critical and all of that. So anyway, I hope that really answered that question, at least in addition to what Prof and Dr. Uche have said. So I'll move to, Prof has asked me to kind of share some thoughts about, the award and then my full professorship. And I think I want to start by saying that first glory to God. For those that have been on this platform, I'm a professing Christian, and Christ is at the key cornerstone of everything we do. He's the giver of all grace, he's the giver of all wisdom, and he's the one that makes, he's the one that helps. So just want to recognize that. The second thing also is to recognize, family and friends that have sort of, and mentees and mentors and communities that have stayed with, that have invested in us, right? It's a lot of investment. And I do echo what Dr. Uche said, there is no overnight success. And I'm also a strong believer that there is no self-made anything, anybody, anywhere. We're a product of things that have been deposited in us by people, whether even at times disappointment can turn to an investment when we think about it differently. So I just want to recognize that people that have taken care of me, taken care of all that concerns me, and that have added here and there. So I want to recognize that and then just put that out there because that's really, really critical. So for example, I got to know Professor Evans from my own partner, from my wife. And that in itself has been an opportunity to be able to partner with Prof and all of that. So so it's really important to really recognize our families and friends and communities that continue to work with us and that believe in us even when we couldn't see anything but this side. So now going to I'll start with the award. So the 3M National Teaching Fellowship, it's considered as Canada's most prestigious recognition when it comes to educational leadership and teaching in the country. That's the first fact. The second fact about it is that in my university, University of Regina, has only had it once before me, and that was, I think close to 25 years. I think it's between 22 to 25 years. It's around that time. It's more than 2 decades. Let's just put it that way. And then now we got it. I got it rather. The third thing also is that based on the analysis that I've seen, I've not seen anybody in purely theater that had the award since 1986. And I've also not seen anyone from Nigeria that have had the award since the start of the award of the fellowship, which is again 1986. Now, you see, I'm not saying all of this to make it sound like I'm the first person, and all of those things are I don't. Yeah, that's not the point. For me, it's that I'm hoping that can inspire us to say that things are possible. These things are possible. Like, and I think I want us to start thinking of what is possible. Many times people don't give up because they don't have the strength to do it, because they've stopped imagining what is possible. And that's where I want us to start. That hopefully that can inspire, that there's a lot of so many amazing possibilities out there. You won't know until you try them. Okay. So I want to start from there. So that's one. The second thing also is to also, reiterate that because success is not achieved overnight, it's many years of work. And we have to recognize that it's always ensuring. I know Dr. Uche talked about it, showing up, persistency, taking initiative, going the extra mile, paying attention, being excellent. You name it whatever you want to name it, okay? Brand it whatever way you want to brand it. But at the heart of it is that you have to keep growing. You have to keep doing what you're doing. I remember back in the day, there was a time I was chatting with someone, and I used to compose songs back in the day, and the song just kind of came to me like, keep doing even when you're tired. There are times that you just know that you have to keep doing it. Okay. Of course, you need to know when to take a break. What I said doesn't mean that when you're at the verge of dying, keep doing it. No, I mean when you need to take rest, of course, take a break. But what I mean by that is that there are times that you just need to give it more push. Keep doing it. And that's really important for many of us that are coming from backgrounds and systems where there are a lot of depravity. Now, I have to be honest again, for some of us that were in the West, whether we studied in the US, in Canada, in other places, in Germany, and all of that, the times that some of these systems give you a leg up. But also let's not forget that it's not all of us that study in that, right? So we want to acknowledge the systems we're in. I just met with a colleague today that is, working in a different system in another country, and they were telling me the kind of experiences and all of that. And I want to recognize that. But in the midst of that, we all have challenges that we're facing. We all have the realities every single day that we're facing. But keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. There are times that you have to move alone. There are times you have to move together. I know I've been seeing this, people talk about, yeah, if you want to go far, go by yourself. If you want to go something. I think there's a word like that. And at times I'm like, it shouldn't be either or. There are times that you have to learn to go alone. And there are times that you have to learn to go with others. Okay. And these things are really important. So keep moving, get inspired, because it's in your own moving that you are giving hope to other people to keep moving. So that's really critical. I'm always the believer, and when I finish my undergrad, and again,
Prof, I know you are giving your inaugural lecture, so you can.
well,
You're making some other with the post. Keep moving, no parking, no waiting, no loitering. Keep moving.
keep moving. I'll leave it at that then, Prof. I'll hand it back to you. I don't want to go over time here.
I know you want to do inaugural lecture now, which is okay. Thanks so much. I think that's a great inspiration for us. That the first black on this and in Nigeria with such awards. We announce it on our platforms, on our websites. It's a blog post. If you check it out, to read it out about Professor Folabi. For me, that is quite true for as in 5.0, having you as a doctor in the beginning of the course, the series, now having you as a professor at the end. Well, for me, that's a testimonial. And thanks so much. Please, 1 minute before we now go to the next agenda. Let's quickly put on our camera as we take screenshots. My media team will ask me. I don't want to be. Please, let's quickly put on our screen. Please put on a video so that we can quickly take a screenshot. Yeah, thanks so much. Module Shola, thanks to everyone. Esther, thank you so much. Everyone, quick screen. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Quick. I'll take that do it 2 times. All right. Okay, Adeleke, okay, Samson. Yeah, okay, otherwise we just manage what we have. Going, take the first screen, short, first page. Yeah, second page is also going, Abigail, okay, just manage it. Thanks so much, Maureen, Joshua, otherwise we manage what we have. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. We're going on to the next agenda, which is we'll take testimonial. And before I call on my team member, Mr. Tad, to take that, we had a lot of submissions that we have to compile for time's sake. Just read through them quickly for time. I may not have time to ask if to present. So I will just present that quickly, and then my team member will run through it. Attached, I'm sharing the screen. You can see. Yeah, it's something on slides. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay, so we are now taking the screen now. But I think it's my own screen. Can you see my screen? Who's sharing, me or you? Okay, start now. Start. Okay. No, I'm not sure it's not.
Okay, good evening, all, and congratulations to every one of our participants for sacrificing time to be part of the 5th cohort of ASMN series. We will be taking testimonials, and this is from Chief DIaDeRC from University of Passau, Germany. He said, one key thing I learned that is that grantmanship is not a means of soliciting financial assistance, and that funds should be appropriately channeled at the right time and places. Ololade Aruma Sodun from Kwara State University, Nigeria. One of the most useful lessons I learned from episode 1 of ASMN is the importance of effective grantsmanship and the need for clarity in proposal writing, understanding the nuances of crafting compelling proposals, and the significance of collaboration can greatly enhance the chances of securing funding for research projects. Samuel Lukenge from University of Kampala, Uganda, has this to say, one of the most useful lessons I learned from ASMN of episode 1 of ASMN 5.0 is the importance of clear communication in grant writing. The emphasis on crafting a compelling narrative not only helps to convey ideas effectively, but also engages reviewers, making the proposal stand out. This insight will significantly enhance my future submissions. And Amara Kabo from Institute of Public Administration and Management, University of Sierra Leone. From episode 2 of ASMN, I learned the importance of effective collaboration in research. Understanding how diverse perspectives can enhance the quality of projects was eye-opening. It emphasized that successful outcomes often stem from teamwork and leveraging each member's strength. This insight not only motivates me to seek out partnerships, but also to value the contributions of others in achieving common goals. I am excited about the possibility of sharing this at the concluding episode. Thank you, Tamara. From Simon Otazi, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. From the episode 1, I understood that grant writing is an art as well as a science. You must learn not just about building a sound idea, but you must also be able to compose a valid proposal that will present your ideas in a good light. Hence, good writing will not save bad ideas, just as bad writing can kill good ones. we must work smart. Furthermore, he said that he learned that AI writing should not be left for the computer scientists alone. Anyone applying for this AI grants, when they understand the basic rules to apply, like starting with your field of interest, then incorporating AI later on in the proposal. From Esther Mandara, Sokoine University of Agriculture, Tanzania. She highlighted 4 points. One, it is better for one not to win and not to get grants than one winning and not deliver to the community. Secondly, she says, you do not do so if you do not win a grant. Keep on writing and submitting until you succeed. 3, if one seeks a grant and not succeed, it doesn't define that person. And she concluded with saying this: one should prepare the proposal well ahead of time. Give it to personal reviewers in one's discipline and outside one's discipline 3 to 4 weeks before deadline. Inform reviewers early. Review again after reviewers' comment, then submit 2 to 3 days before the actual deadline to avoid technical or logistics problem. Thank you, Esther. Nkiru Kalkonkwo from Redeemers University, Nigeria. Grant said grantsmanship is a key ingredient in our academic sojourn, so let's embrace it with enthusiasm and not fear. Willie Christopher Tarimo, Moshi Cooperative University, Tanzania. He said, I learned that the money you receive for grant research is meant to support the research activity and not for buying house, cars, and other material things we always wish to have. We must use grants to accomplish the research that will solve societal problems. And Farida Mustafa with a picture with Dr. Obi from Federal Polytechnic, Bauchi, Nigeria. I was able to get insights into the rudiment of grantsmanship, that is, the what, why, and how of grantsmanship. It also opened me up to the necessity as a scholar to develop grant writing skill. It is as important as scholarly research publication. DIaDeRC from Ethiopia said, ASMN 5.0 opened my eyes to the power of strategic collaboration across sectors. One of the most useful lessons I learned was that sustainable impact is best achieved when stakeholders align their unique strengths towards a shared vision. The discussions emphasize not just innovation, but intentional partnership. And that mindset shift is something I will carry forward in my work. According to him, from episode 2 of ASMN 5.0, they learned the critical importance of thorough planning and alignment with funders' priorities. Understanding how to tailor my proposal to match the goals and expectations of funding agencies has made me more confident in preparing stronger, with more competitive grants applications. He concluded with this, that he also gained the importance of clear strategic communication in grant proposal. I learned that beyond having a good idea, presenting it effectively and aligning it with funders' priorities is key to securing research funding. And Hussein Musa, Zenith Agribusiness and Farm Services, Nigeria. I learned that whatever aspect of career or mission one is planning to embark on, which is inclusive of having a dream to become a renowned researcher, it's always important to identify and lean on the shoulders of mentors, those who have passed through the same routes. One is just beginning as the art of mentorship enables a professional to have an amplified and fast-paced career journey, because mentors would have or most likely have seen it all, and their journey experiences will guide and pave a smooth way for mentees. From Oluwakemi Bayewu Olabisi Onabanjo University, Nigeria. I learned so much during the first episode, but what strikes me the most among the many lessons learned is that sciences, ideas, and art writing skills are both needed to craft an outstanding grant proposal. Fabilato Muhammadu from Yaoundé, Cameroon. I learned that draftsmanship is not only about writing, but about strategic thinking, collaboration, and perseverance. It's both an art and a science, and one must continuously improve through feedback and consistent practice. Melkamu Odofa Sigaye, Ethiopian Agricultural Research Institute, Ethiopia. He said, the most valuable lesson I learned from episode two is that one does not need to be an AI expert to develop impactful grant proposals. By focusing on real domain problems and collaborating effectively, even non-AI researchers can attract funding and contribute meaningfully to AI-enabled solutions. One of the most valuable lessons I took from episode 4 is the importance of strategic alignment in partnerships. I learned that successful collaborations are driven by shared goals, clear communication, and mutual respect. The episode emphasized that while access to resources and networking are benefits, the true value lies in co-creating solutions that have a real impact on society. This session deepens my appreciation for collaborative innovations. And Ogene Eke from Covenant University, Nigeria. Episode 2 was very insightful, and I received the required detail on how to write a grant proposal successfully, and understanding AI can be used in methodology and not the statement of the research problem. I also understood the narrative development and time management in grant writing, which includes the ideas about my research and my ability to convince the funders that I need their funding to execute my project. Episode 3 was another enlightening session. I learned a lot on the importance of putting publishing as a priority, which moves a person to research immortality. She concluded with this. I also gained knowledge on the right journals to publish in, especially high-impact journals like SAGE, Palgrave, Spiritual Nature, Elsevier, and so on. ASMN 5.0, episode 4 was another mind-blowing session. I gained more insight into the importance of partnership and collaboration, understanding the fact of properly identifying potential collaborators and harnessing the benefits of collaboration in the right direction. Damilare Daniel Olajide, the Redeemers Christian Bible College, affiliated to University of Ibadan and Redeemers University. He said, I learned that if my funding proposals are rejected, it does not mean that I have failed. Instead, it means I can write an acceptable proposal tomorrow. What I need to do to identify a reason for the rejection, improve on future submissions, and make more consultation to become a better practitioner and writer so that I can present better arguments. After Mal Tafaj from Woldia University, Woldia, Ethiopia, ASMN 5.0. At ASMN 5.0, I gained invaluable insight into draftsmanship and the essential element of writing a compelling grant proposal. The session clarified the structure, purpose, and strategic importance of each component, from the problem statement and objective to budgeting and sustainability plans. It was also an eye-opening experience that equipped me with practical knowledge and tools to develop stronger, more persuasive proposals for funding opportunities. This learning has greatly enhanced my confidence in navigating the world of grants and resource mobilization. ASMN 5.0 grant writing, from idea development to proposal submission, gave me a clear roadmap for turning research ideas into competitive proposals. I learned how to structure key elements like the problem statement, research design, budgeting, and impact. The tips on aligning with funders' priorities and managing post-award responsibilities were especially useful. Most empowering was the practical guidance on assessing AI-related grants, even as a non-AI researcher. This session truly simplified the entire grant writing journey for me. And it was Sam Egbe from Covenant University, Portal. One of the important lessons I learned from this second episode of ASMN 5.0 is that when writing grants, you should be more detailed and specific with stating our ideas and how the grants, if given, will be effectively used. I also learned that although we cannot stop using AI, we should be careful how we use it. It is just there to help refine our ideas. One important lesson I learned from the first episode of ASMN 5.0 is that grantsmanship requires careful consideration and adherence to guidelines. I also learned that it is important to make different drafts of your ideas and send it to expert and trusted peers to review and give feedback before the final document is sent. From Fred Wafwana from Bwesitima University, Uganda, episode 1 of ASMN 5.0 is the importance of grantsmanship in securing research funding. Understanding the art of writing effective grant proposals and navigating the funding landscape can significantly impact one's research career. The episode has provided invaluable insight into crafting compelling proposals, identifying funding opportunities, and developing a strategic approach to grantsmanship. Furthermore, he said, ASMN 5.0 was a game changer for me. I realized that to write a successful grant proposal, I need to understand what the funding agency values and tailor my proposal accordingly. I am new to grant writing, but I'm eager to put this knowledge into practice and see how it can help me secure funding for my projects. We concluded with this. ASMN 5.0 was truly enlightening. My most useful lesson learned was the importance of effective communication in partnership and collaborations. The strategies shared on building trust, managing conflict, and fostering mutual understanding have been invaluable. I'll definitely apply this insight in my future endeavors. Thank you so much, dear Professor Evans and team, for the engaging presentation. And Esther Joshua from Ministry of Health, Abia, Nigeria. ASMN 5.0 deepened my understanding of how anyone, regardless of AI expertise, can confidently apply for AI-infused grants by focusing on the impact and relevance of their own domain problem. I also learned the importance of collaboration and starting small to build grant credibility. ASMN completely transformed how I view academic publishing. The real-life examples and emphasis on international collaboration were eye-opening. I now feel more confident and equipped to publish work that will actually make an impact and grow my academic visibility. Episode 4 of ASMN 5.0 was a wake-up call and a roadmap rolled into one. I learned that collaboration isn't just an option in today's knowledge economy, it is a strategic necessity. And she concluded with this: the most effective lessons is that your network truly determines your network. From navigating partnership with humility and trust to securing cross-continental collaborations that lead to real funding and impact. This session broke every myth I had about going solo in academia. And as we conclude, please let me say this. Please do well to all participants, do well to send us a mini video of your experiences at ASMN 5.0 and other related testimonials of your professional successes. All video files should be sent to programs@diadeRC.org to help us improve on subsequent series and share in your success stories. Thank you very much for being part of this edition.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we should clap ourselves for all of those. Like I said earlier, we have over 100 testimonials to present. Just harness a few of them. Thank you so much. Yes, can we hear me? Yeah, thanks for clap. Let's keep the clapping going on. Thanks so much, everyone.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
we are approaching the very close. Before we go to certificate presentation, I will take the something else, and I will call on. I saw AI was coming up on this session, this testimonial, and thankfully, thanks to my team members, we have packaged a program on. I mentioned it before on data science. I just call it Dr. Chinwe, who took us that aspect on has been an episode 2 on AI and grantmanship. Before then, we are still, like I mentioned earlier, we see the premium membership still open till the 20th of June, because we will do the onboarding by 29th of June, and already put it's already on our website, the event on the event page by 5 p.m. So if you join this by 3, you will be part of those that will be onboarded on that date. And for certificate, I mentioned earlier, is that there were 2 main criteria. Doing the exercises was one, and then membership was second one. And those who we call today are those who completed this one before on Friday. So in case your name is not there, you can reach out to us to clarify. Otherwise, others will be presented later on and sent to your email. Those that can jump on the train before 22nd of June, ahead of the onboarding by 29th of June. So before then, I will now go on to call Dr. Chinwe, who is the lead facilitator for this, we call it course on applied data science training. I want to be sure that don't forget that the aim of DIaDeRC is that they want to change narrative from Africa being once known as a download continent to upload continent. So I want to be part of that. And we're going to run from August to October. Details on our website. Dr. Chinwe, can you just speak to it 1 minute, please?
Yes, thank you so much, Prof, and thank you so much, everyone. I am excited and thrilled to be here and to be part of what is going on in DIaDeRC. Yes, without taking so much of our time because we are running out of time. Yes, I just want to tell us about this course coming up on 17th of August till October 12th. So the course is Applied Data Science, and I just say where reality meets analytical power. So it's something you can't afford to miss, because if you go out there on the internet or in the market, there are so many data science courses for free, by the way. But what is the difference? Why should you pay? Why should you be part of what we're introducing here? Yes, because here you have mentors that will work with you. The facilitators are ready to work with you. Live sessions will be there. You have your own data. If you're working maybe in an institution, you're doing a research, we're going to work with your own data to come up with something that will help you. So you're not just learning the skill, you're also learning how to apply the skill in real world scenario. So this is a place where you'll be empowered with various toolkits for delivery, where you will focus on peer community building. So it won't just be that we're going to empower you and leave you to go. No, we're going to mentor you until you are able to mentor others. I'm going to stop here because we don't have so much time, but you can check it out at our website and see what the course stands for you. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you so much. So you go to our website on the event page, you see the it's quite this is a short URL, bit.ly Scholars Mentorship Network ASMN _data_science. Get it there. So we want to be part of it. And the truth is that it will be done through LMS. So we have both the live sessions, also have the learning at your pace. You log in anytime you take the exercises, you learn a lot of life. There are many things you can read on it. Go to our website on it, you see details are there. And if you have any question, please reach out to us and we'll be glad to answer your question. I will be taking more of that for those who will be part of our so a short note will be on that as well. And this is our new network channel. Then those who subscribe to ASMN Premium membership, we have a special group for that where we'll do share dedicated information and classified information. So after now, don't allow this what you have learned for 5.0 to end here. Take it further, and you'll be glad you did. So I want to quickly call on I think quickly present the certificate, and we are about to close. Now we are closing in 3 minutes. So let me share my screen now for the certificate presentation. If you can see my screen as my PDF. Great. All right, I'll mention those who qualify. In case your name is not called, is that you didn't get it on time, or So you can let us know in case we've done the exercises. You subscribe to premium membership. If your name is not called, get to us. But if you are not there yet, you have to get that done between now and 22nd of June. Both the exercises being done, and also both the membership subscription. So let's run through it. Oh yeah, let's go. So let's run it. Please, when we run it, mention the name. You call the name. You clap with your hands, physically or digitally. Yeah. Number one.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. The first on the list for the certificate presentation is Kehinde Ajayi. Put your hands together for him or her. And the second on the list is Abiodun Adetokunbo. Now put your hands together. And the third on the list is Eseogene Eke. Congratulations. The next is Nkiruka Okonkwo. Congratulations. The next, Sarah Ajumuda. Congratulations. The next is Florence Nse Nelson. Congratulations. The next is Momo Lawal. Congratulations. The next is Yinka Adediron. Congratulations. The next, Marcos Adedara. Congratulations. The next is Esther Joshua. Congratulations. The next is Abiola Olarinre. Congratulations. The next is Olusegun Peter Olaoye. Congratulations. Osaro Oyigangbe. Congratulations.
Yeah, okay. Thanks so much. That is all we have for now. Like I said, in case your name is not called, you can reach out to us, but that's all we have for now. Congratulations. Yeah, the secret we send to your emails one by one, and we'll tell you how to showcase it on social media and tag us with our hashtags. Okay, on that note, I'm taking the closing session now. And this is the last day. We must be conscious to return to God all the glory and appreciate Him because He has helped us far. You all agree that has been 5.0 has been wow, it has been wow. So as we keep moving, let's stay in touch. Follow up on our social media channels. They're all there. If you go to the DIaDeRC website, you see them both at the end and on the footer and at the end you see that. Okay, our journal is on, so you can check it out on the website. Our Scholar Mentorship Network you mentioned is on. Subscribe to it if you are not, so you can get refreshed what we are producing. Is package is bespoke resource. Then I want to also encourage us go through all of these sessions again. Don't just leave it there. They're all live on YouTube. You go to that YouTube channel live stream. You see the links to all the series 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the episodes rather. You get them all right there. And those that want to do the assignment. Yes, I just mentioned that. Once you subscribe and you do the exercise by 22nd June, you can get certificates that will be sent to your email. So after this deadline, we close certificates. So by this 22nd June, we'll close the form for all the sizes so the team members can collate and benchmark that with the. So if you do exercises before 20th June and you are subscribed before then, you will get certificates that will be sent to your email. Okay, so that will be done. Thanks so much for that question that was asked on the YouTube channel. So on that again, I look forward to seeing you again like this. Those who subscribe and those who will be onboarded by 29th of June 2025 at our onboarding meeting. It's really terrific and wonderful. And it's also going to be also 2-in-1. Our quarterly meeting for our members in other batches in batch 1 and batch 2. All of us to come together as a family of dedicated scholars in Africa and how we can make our own impacts. So, and this is I see open, these are the links. So if you see open to 20th of June and complete it, as well as a premium membership subscription, so you can get certificates mentioned to you. Then don't forget to watch out for our course that we just mentioned. Details will be sent on our website and across our channels. I want to ask you to remain blessed, and then God has helped us far. So we want to say thank you, Jesus, for helping us so far. And it's been wonderful. Thanks to Uche, who has to leave. And for Uche being here today, for me, it was a great sacrifice because she's able to join us despite so to speak too. But she was great, and she wanted to share her insight from the World Bank, from being a professor at Pittsburgh, also being a founder of Zerin and all that. So on that note, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for being part of our success story. We want to see you soar, and I want to be part of our success story. So as you keep engaging and keep sharing testimonial, we'll also be glad to showcase them on our platform. So let us know by sending us email on our website, and also send a form as well on DIaDeRC links will be, if you go to our website on blog on news, this is where we showcase the wins of our team members and particularly ASMN premium members. So thank you so much. I want to stop now. It's been a great day. We just took some minutes afterwards. So I don't know if there's any final words as we call on someone from this batch to say what of vote of thanks as we close. Anybody can jump in now from this batch. We're asking 5.0. But quick vote of thanks to all our wonderful facilitators. We are seeing the experiences sharing from all over, almost 10 of them from different. Anybody give us a vote of thanks? I'll call them. Quick. Want to close now. Vote of thanks from one participant. Damilari, you're tapping it out. Okay. Who is giving the thanks? Let's close.
Yeah. Good evening, Prof. I
believe others can hear me.
Yes.
We may not have the financial resources to appreciate you, but we can say thank you to every member on your team. And we pray that the Almighty God himself, who has the resources to pay you and reward you well, will do so. We say thank you to you, Prof, and others in your team. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your success is my testimony. Okay. Like I remember in 1.0, I was the only speaker with Asongo, but now I have those who have gone through this training now being part of COFA, people like Romanus, people like Judith, people like Chinwe, people like Adeleke. So you can see I'm already handing over to the next generation. I'm so glad. I'm here because you are there. Thanks so much for being there for us. And somebody said, imagine that you cook soup or food, and nobody came to the dining to eat. It can be very, but the food is cooked. We are here to eat food. So please, we are moving. It's a movement. So let's not stop here. In your various collaborate with others, and those of us who join the premium membership, we put in cluster, be part of that, contribute to the platform, and you'll be guided. Many people already shared testimony. We heard Adeleke share testimony when she gave when she took episode 3. So once again, it's difficult to say goodbye, but the session ended today, but collaboration continues from now. And particularly those who are part of our premium membership, before they are onboarding, we'll send the cluster and the profiling. And again, all our platforms are open. If you're on the WhatsApp group, we'll share is open. Our website is active, our media are active. Remain blessed and remember to give back to what you have done. Well, we told that we are not competing. We are complementing. We are not competing. God bless you so much. We love you. And blessed. And see you some other time, particularly those who will be part of the onboarding on 29th of June, 3 weeks from now. Okay, thanks so much. Thank you, Chineye. Thank you so much, Samson. Thank you, Dami, Lola. Daniel, thank you. Nadara, thank you. Nuhu, thank you. Osaro, thank you. Esther, thank you. Wale, thank you. Is that Esther Folana or Esther Mabolua? Is that you? Okay, thanks so much. Let me stop streaming to